Assalamu alaikum everyone, welcome to another episode of Safe2Talk.
Assalamu alaikum, everybody.
So today we found another video from Ali Da'wa's channel, which is the Bitter Truth Show. One interesting episode that really, one of the main reasons why I don't have social media. But anyway, they're pretty much talking about people, the couples and how they portray their lifestyle in social media.
Yeah, in general, I think they're just addressing how Instagram gives this impression that everything is perfect for that moment the picture was taken. Like people that are going through your page or people that are following you have this idea that maybe you're living a perfect life, even though that's not it. He's not on social media, but I am, and I have taken a bunch of videos, bunch of pictures. So the whole topic of this thing was very interesting because I think it's good to give our perspective on this. It is social media is taken over right now, and a lot of people are falling for these. So that's why we picked this topic.
Yeah, they make a lot of good points, but and also some points that I don't really totally agree. But we'll look into the first couple of minutes of the video and their episodes, and we'll
dive right into it.
Yeah,
inshallah.
Interesting, and I've been meaning to talk about this topic for a very long time because it's pertaining, and I believe it's one of the reasons why there's a false expectation in marriage. Marriage is breaking down, and most of the times when we think about, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in the Quran that tell the believing men to lower your gaze. Good. But what happens is that also it tells the woman to lower their gaze as well. But I feel as if the sisters don't lower their gaze when it comes to other people's marriages. So I believe men don't lower their gaze when it comes to the opposite gender. We are visual creatures, and that's our weakness, so we don't lower our gaze, and we should. It's a sin. But I feel as if sisters don't lower their gaze when it comes to other people's lives. Her husband is doing this, and they are here. So these social media couples that we are talking about here, we're going to react to some of them. I'm trying to get the videos. Just a quick disclaimer, we don't want to backbite, we don't want to slander, we don't want to talk ill of them. We just want to talk about this phenomena. Yeah, in a nutshell. I will get the videos. I'll try to find some. We can watch them. But let's get into the topic. So, irresponsible social media couples. Let's start with the sisters. Do you guys believe, you guys are females, you guys know yourself best, do you not believe that when you see videos, as a young sister, some of you guys are married, some of you guys are divorced, so as a young sister, when you was young, when you see these social media couples who are portraying their lifestyle, and it's glamorous, and sometimes you wonder, did they take these videos in Jannah? Because everything looks so damn perfect. Ajib, wallah, you look and is there any fault in this video? And the thing is, everything from the bed sheet to the flower in the background, to the baby, what they're wearing, to whatever they're driving and the holidays they're going to, does it not give a false perception of what marriage is? Because I don't know, brother or sister, if you punched her face before you made that video and made it look like, you know what, this is amazing. And then I don't know, sister, if you tried to uppercut him and then after that you said, let's put a picture up, yeah? Because I believe it's impossible for you to have such an amazing life. Now, may Allah bless you guys, preserve you guys, protect you from envy, and which is very interesting. Yusuf alayhi salam, his father said to him, do not mention your dream to your blood brothers. And we've got social media couples, like everything in their life. Now, of course, there's a balance. There are those, subhanAllah, sometimes they give little reminders here, that's fine. I'm talking about those who are showing extravagance. Yeah, we're traveling here and there. Do you guys not believe that is irresponsible behavior? And in a nutshell, I want to say showing off, maybe can be showing off, but you're given a false perception of marriage.
I think it does. One of the massive issues I have, and you have limited it to couples, but I think many Muslims are, or human beings are concerned by wife over woman, over exposing, men over exposing, but you want to maybe target the topic to the couples. And it is true, and it has, even though we like to say, no, I'm not influenced, I'm very independent, I have my own perception. That's not true, because when all day long you keep swiping and seeing those things, you are affected. Even inconsciously, you are affected. And one of the things I always remind to my children or to my friends is that no one's showing the argument, the bad, the background, the reality of life. And, and it makes you feel like my life is purposeless. Those people have a better life. Those people are exposing their blessings, but they're not exposing the test that comes with those blessings. And people need to understand that all the blessings that you have, you do not know about that test. And sometimes it makes us ungrateful of all the amazing blessings that Allah Azza wa Jalla has bestowed upon us. We do not know what happens behind the scenes and the reality of the love of the couple. And it's really, like you said, a deformed reality. And I definitely think it has a negative impact on the marriages today. That's for me. Or the perception of the marriage.
Okay.
All right, obviously we only saw a couple of minutes of the video.
It's an hour long, so we kind of just picked something that introduces the whole topic, and then we're gonna go and kind of talk about our perspective on it.
So we'll definitely share the link on the video, but you understand the point we're trying to bring to today's episode. It's pretty much marriages and people on, showing their lifestyle, how happy they are on social media. To me, is it a bad thing? No. So there are few things that they actually mentioned that I totally disagree. I think Ali Dawah even said it. Why not show when you're fighting with your wife or husband?
Quick disclaimer, we got into a quick argument before we set this whole thing up, but it's kind of hard to show that part. You know what I mean? Like, it's like we're not having a camera like recording us the entire time, following us around. Like, I feel like arguments or fights are not timed. It's not like I'm gonna go and be like, you know what, I'm gonna pick a fight with him at whatever time right before we start recording that. It doesn't happen like that. And I feel like anybody that knows marriage knows that obviously there's the good and the bads. So the idea of having a misconception for me, and this is what I said to you earlier when we were watching this episode, I said, like, if I believe that someone is portraying something that is not genuine or something that's not realistic, I'm not going to follow that person. Does that make sense?
I don't on social media.
On social media.
Yeah, but
like,
the
I'm
thing
not
is,
going to follow them.
Yeah, but what they're saying is that when you see someone, let's just say you watch a hijabi woman, the way she's living her life, she's always traveling, she always buys the new clothes for her kids. She's, she has a brand new car. They have a family car. She has her own car. When you see this type of thing, does it actually trigger you?
Wallahi, none of it bothers me. And I'll tell you why. I've never been a materialistic person. I've never cared about all of that, all of those things. And I think you know that. I think it's nice. Like, of course, I'd be like, oh, like, I'm going to plan a trip, or like, I would like to go on a trip. Like, those things maybe, but not to the point where it's going to make me feel sad about my life and where I am and not realize all the things that I'm grateful for. But I do understand that there are certain things that are maybe close to your heart for some people. Like, maybe they're not married, or maybe they don't have kids and they're trying to have kids, whatever the case is. They're maybe just a little bit more sensitive to that. And then seeing those content come up will kind of like make you feel sad. And even unintentionally, you might envy that person, even though that wasn't the intention of the content when it was being put out. So I think it's not black and white.
Yeah, so some of the things that one of the sisters said is exactly the same thing. She used to post certain things, and when she realized, other kids may not have food, or they may not have everything that they want to eat during Ramadan, she stopped posting that. It's a good thing, But I personally, don't see any problem posting videos. If I'm going to travel, I'm going to post it. My intention is not to bring anyone down. It's just to show, hey, I'm going somewhere. You know what I mean? And also, some of the things that Brother Ali Dawah said is that people don't post when they're fighting. Who does that? I personally would never post me and my wife fighting. She will never post.
If we would have set up a camera and record it. That's what we mean. Like, it just doesn't make any sense.
I don't think he's talking about setting a camera.
But how would you share that?
yesterday we fought X, Y, and Z, but
okay.
nobody does that. You know what I mean?
So here's the thing. I think another point that he made was he said, like, don't say what the fight was about or don't say how you fought, but share how you resolved that issue. I'm all for that. Like, I believe it, living a very transparent life, especially if you decide to put your life out on social media. Be real, like, be transparent, like, don't sell a dream. Marriage is not a dream. Marriage is work. It's real. Like, we bicker all day long sometimes, and then we're both just like annoyed of each other, and then other times where we're just like, oh my god, it's like, this is so
Yeah,
nice. Like,
we
have
did talk
moments.
about how we, some of the struggles that we went through and how
Yeah.
we fixed it
Yeah,
and
we
how we
shared those.
discipline our kids. We talk about
Yeah.
there's a lot of disagreement.
Yeah.
There's a lot of things that, oh, I don't agree with this, or you should have at least
Even
talked
that
about.
whole video we shared, sorry to cut you off,
What
that
video?
video that like went like all crazy on TikTok. We were
One?
having an intense
The
conversation
one
about the sleepover.
sleepover.
So that was us being just us, and people were like, "Don't put your life out there." Like, people took it quite literal. So I would say that was, I would say, one of our real moments, because we
No,
were
because
both
we
so
did,
passionate about that topic.
we did talk about it prior filming,
Yeah,
and it's something whether I would have no issues.
yeah,
I will still disagree.
yeah.
We always
We
come
just
to
agree to disagree,
agree
pretty
to
much. If
disagree.
we
Yeah.
can't find a common. But I think to go back to that is like the girl that mentioned like sharing food, like sharing
Yeah.
like your food. That I've become very mindful of it too. I feel like with time, because you don't know what the other person is going through, or like whoever could be watching your story. So like there's times where he'll be like you need to take a picture of the food. So we have those like little meme moments where it's like, don't touch the food, I'm gonna take a video, or I'm gonna take a picture.
Yeah,
He
as
takes
soon we go
those.
to a restaurant, we order food, and the food comes, I automatically
You're
have to
the
assume, you know, push
so
back, let her take her moment, her pictures, and then
part of the fun, right? Like, I feel like if you decide to put yourself on social media like that, it's just, there's a lot of figuring out going on behind the scenes. Now, do I believe that there's people who want to portray that perfect image? Maybe, but I'm not them and I can't speak for them. Oh,
yeah, because I did see a couple of, not, I mean, not a couple of videos, but I did notice a few times where some influencers where they were in a couple, and a couple of months
later.
they didn't post any videos, and then suddenly they post a new video and they're divorced. One of the brother on that episode, his YouTube channel Smile to Jannah, did express a lot of things that I kind of agree, is that people no longer fight for their marriage. One thing happens and they're ready to run
Yeah.
and quit and call it a quit. So to me, we're in a generation where people actually don't put the time and effort into their marriage and make it work. We do have a lot of disagreement, me and my wife, on a lot of things.
We're literally polar opposites. Let's just say that.
Yeah. And the reason why I don't have social media, it's not like I used to have social media, but to me, use social media is not something I will use just for the sake of using it. If I have something going on, business wise, or there's something I'm trying to build with either a family member or my wife or my friends, may consider. But for now, social media to me is not it does not interest me.
It's not
It does
it
not interest me.
for him.
Yeah.
It's not it. I think another thing they mentioned was it's giving a false idea of marriage. And I think one of the sisters said this is why marriage is falling apart. My genuine and humble like idea or opinion on why marriages are no longer lasting as long as they would back in the days, because one, people are getting married for the wrong reasons. So people are getting married because maybe they just want to be in that couple idea, or people are getting married because they think marriage is like all this like cute, fluffy, super sweet moments, and it's not that. Like, it's really not that. There is parts that are like that, but it's not all of it. So I think people rushing into marriage for the wrong reasons, people not doing their research on their partner before they get married, or even asking all the hard questions, could lead to potential divorce, right? nobody wakes up and says, I'm gonna get divorced today. I don't think that's something that's ever planned, but I think it's something that happens because your heart is just not in it as it should be. In the moment that I'm fighting, like that we're arguing or we're fighting, I hate him. Like I'm just like, oh my God. But
Whoa, hate.
like in that moment, like if it's a pretty intense fight.
Yeah, I know how you feel. Jeez.
Well, we talked about this the other day. I think you were kind of on the same wavelength as me when it comes to that.
Don't try to
But
justify
let's
it
just
now. It's too late.
pretend.
You put it out there.
But yeah, so like in that moment, I'm just like, I can't stand this guy. Like I would literally just be like, I just want to get away, or like him get away. Whatever the case is, it's normal. Like
Hate.
guys, if we have like, he's gonna be stuck on that for a few days.
For
But
sure.
I mean, in that moment.
Who uses those words? Hate.
Um, uh,
I hate Hitler.
Okay, but
That's a
it's
big word.
different. I mean, in
I'm
that
joking. I'm
moment.
joking. I'm joking.
Okay, so like I feel like marriage is very much like not siblings. It's not siblings, but like if you live with someone long enough, you're going to have to.
It's not. It's not.
It's not siblings, but I'm
No,
saying like you
it's
have
not the same thing.
Okay, maybe
It's not the same thing.
no. I don't know where I was going with that,
No.
but like you will. I feel like live with
Honeymoon
anyone.
phase is whenever you're texting and calling each other. Oh my God,
When
1
you
hour
have
and
a
a half. Yeah, 1 hour and a half on the phone. I think we live together. Wow.
But yeah, no. Well, like it's very like I feel like marriage is. No, I lost my train of thought.
Yeah.
Marriage is not for everybody. But if you decide to get married, like just realize that it's not gonna be flowers and roses. Like when I get into a fight
With the guy you hate.
with the guy that I hate, apparently, in the moment, it's very much like I know that I want to recover from that fight. So it's very much like I'm mad, I'm annoyed, but I know that by tomorrow or like the day after, I want us to have resolved this. I don't like the mad phase lasting long, and that just shows that I do want to work on my marriage. Like I do want to find a solution. I want to find a way to avoid these type of conflicts for the future. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but
Not
we
just
don't take
brush
it
it
to.
under the rug.
Yeah, but we don't take it there. Like when we fight, and as a lot of men know, we take the L and we move on. We let them win. You know, if you want to have a nice evening, just let them win.
I don't know
You what
about
I
all
mean?
that.
So I'm right, I'm wrong. If I'm right, she's always wrong. You know, but
She's always right. You mean?
yeah, I mean, yeah, she's always right.
always
So,
right.
so whether I'm right or wrong, I'll take the L, let her win, so that I can have a nice evening. Or, you know, you're just gonna have a lot of nightmares. But I would say just watch the episode. It's a good episode. There's a lot of different background. People are divorced. Some people are still married. Some people have different opinion about marriages, and it's good to see different community coming together and having sharing their own
these
opinion.
conversations.
Yeah.
Even like I feel like it's so important to have these conversations, especially for the younger generation. Guys, don't believe every single thing people post on social media. Like myself being
But it's hard.
content-
It is hard, honestly. If you see some girls that you used to go to school with, and she's having, you would say, "Man, what did I do wrong?" It happens. When I see guys that are, my age. I'm not talking about the guys that I know, but I'm talking about guys, influencers. Let's just call them YouTubers, and they're living their best life, and
like they succeeded. You
they're
mean?
succeeding,
Yeah.
and they're affording anything they want, and they're helping their family. But I would, inshallah, I would want to be on the same position. But not everybody, have that drive. I'm not on YouTube. I mean, I'm not on social media, so I don't really care about these things. I follow a lot of guys that are in the, in the dawah scene, so I don't really focus on those material stuff. But I do understand where other guys or
Yeah.
girls would want to have that lifestyle.
Because that's what I mean by if it's something close to your heart, if it's something that you. So I guess it is true. So then, yeah, it could give you that false perception of
definitely.
things, because it's like if I am like 30 something or like at the age where I wanted to get married and I'm not married and I'm seeing other people get married, maybe that might affect me. You know what I mean? And not even consciously, but like subconsciously too. So I get what you mean by like maybe at a certain age, like you wanted to be doing something different than a 9 to 5, and then when you see that you're like, oh, like inshallah I want to get there. So when you are sensitive to that certain thing that's being portrayed, it could give you that little bit of like, oh, like why is it not happening for me? Does that make sense? And so aim
by the
is
way-
not something that people do intentional. So not aim is not intentional. It's something that could happen, right?
I mean, when it's intentional, people if they see something they envy, that's aim. Like that's why they always say, try not to put
Yeah.
yourself out there because you bring bad eye. And by the way, side note, there's nothing wrong, and I have nothing against 9 to 5. I do my 9 to 5. Do I want to do something else other than 9 to 5? 100%. Am I working towards something? Yes. I'm always trying to elevate and work on myself and trying to work and bring something better for my family. But nothing against 9 to 5. For the most part, we all do that. So.
Yeah, well, we do that, and it's a necessity, right? So I think for myself, even when we speak about Ain, for those who follow me on Instagram, I recently just removed my kids off of Instagram, my page, because there was a lot of fake like accounts being put out there, and I don't care if the accounts are about me but not about the kids, so I kind of had to remove my children just to be safe. So when it comes to that stuff, like I said, just always be intentional on the content that you're putting out there. Just be sure that it's something that is wow, I can't say it, an information that you want to put out there. And
some of the good
Yeah.
point they mentioned is if you're posting things for education purposes, like for us, we're trying to bring awareness on our our marriage and what's
blended
working and what's not working, blended family, and trying to help others.
Yeah.
That's exactly what we're trying to do. But we're not
Yeah.
trying to portray like this is our we're living the dream.
the perfect marriage,
Yeah,
because
but
that doesn't
that's
exist.
far from that. So.
So I think honestly there was a lot more shared into that video, wallahi, that I think it's very interesting for you guys to watch, and then share your comments, share your opinions on this, and how you feel about the social media, how you feel about portraying the other. Sorry, one last point that they mentioned was, and I am for that too, if you don't want to see this content, don't follow that person.
Exactly.
Or block that person. If you feel like it's making you feel any type of way, even if it's something that you're not intentionally wanting to feel, like just block that person. Out of sight, out of mind, right? Like you don't see them, you don't think about it. So that's very important to do. So yeah, I think that's
Yeah, pretty much. I would say go. We'll post a link on our channel, and I'll honestly suggest you that you watch the video because it's actually educational and it's kind of entertaining. So it's good to hear other people's point of view.
interesting. So check it out. Leave your comments. Don't forget to like, save, subscribe, inshallah. So jazakallah khair, guys. Assalamu alaikum.
See you next time, inshallah. Assalamu alaikum.